You know, and I know, and they know, and we know, we go all in. You know, and I know, they know, 'cause we know, we go all in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of What You've Been Missing. It is Sunday, 9 p.m. You know where you at, you know where you're supposed to be. We thank you for tuning in. It's half of the All Dressed Up podcast. My name is Candice DC. My boy to this side here is Hef Streams. What up, Heifer Lump?
Man, what's good, K Dizzle
What's
DC? It
good, my
feels
guy?
good. It
I'm gonna
feels good
turn
to
me
be
up.
back on a Sunday night. Yeah, turn up,
I'm gonna
man.
turn me up. I'm gonna turn me up because I need that light in my face. What's going on,
Yeah.
man? If you rolling in, man, we just getting started. Sal's in the building. What
What
up, Big
up,
Sal?
Sal?
You
What up,
see it.
Sal?
You see it. You
Fly,
see
Eagles, fly.
it. How was your week, man? I know it's been a
Yeah.
little bit. How
Oh,
you been, bro?
it's been a grind, man. You know, I had a great rest day today. Back in the saddle again with the boy K Dizzle. So I'm feeling good, man. Happy to be here. But just one of those weeks where I worked a lot, spent some time with the family.
Of course.
Nice combination of volume. So trying to get some money and now back to having some fun with you, man. Let's go.
Nothing much. Arizona Ron's in the building. Talking about some what's up colors. Look,
What's
I
up,
watched a
coloreds?
few of our VODs back, man. I gotta make sure my glasses are straight. I be in here looking
You be in
hella
the
crooked out
my
here.
man
Hella crooked.
410 is in
Hella
the building. We're
410's
gonna
in the
have a
building.
night tonight.
Hey,
When Arizona and 410 and Sal start to show off, we're gonna have a night.
Dre is here. We can start the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting the podcast
You
because
can
Dre has
now
arrived.
start the
We can now
show.
start the show. But look, a lot has transpired since we last been on, man. We've missed quite a bit, but you know why I'm wearing it, right? You know
Hey
why
man,
I'm wearing it.
somebody told me there was an NFL draft over the last week or two. So tell me about that draft, big bro. What
I mean,
happened?
Dubs or Dub City. Everybody's upset. Everybody's upset. You know,
Unbelievable.
the Philadelphia Eagles are building for the future, ladies and gentlemen. I see, I see a dynasty forming, and everybody's mad at the moves that the GM is making. Don't be upset, man. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Participate. That's all I'm gonna say. Participate.
So let's
That's
just get
all.
ready to it, man. Howie is in the chat from your boy Sal. So I said before, back when we collaborated with the Enough Said podcast, that I give Howie credit. Howie
Sure.
Roseman is definitely a good GM. I've always given him the credit. I don't appreciate how you guys treat your own general manager.
Hey, I
I
mean,
really
listen.
don't.
Hey, look, you already know. If we ain't winning, it's a problem. Somebody got to go.
So you think you won the draft?
Absolutely. I
So
think
get to it, man. How'd
the
you win the draft?
I think the biggest thing was, not just the players, how we drafted and what kind of value we got at it, but I think we got a lot of high quality players at some decent areas. I
Okay.
mean, Texans, went big. They got, franchise players on both sides early, and they have the cap
Hopefully.
capital to do it, hopefully. And
Didn't expect to see them trade up and be so aggressive.
yeah, I think this draft was different because everybody it kind of went against the grain a little bit. Everybody got what they wanted instead of what they felt was what everyone else felt was the best on the board. So that's why I kind of went a little left sometimes and right the other times. But overall, I think we got the best deal out of the whole thing. So build the O and the D lines. You're right. Both
Yeah.
built both of them out, and
You know, you
the
guys are
only thing that
fine.
matters, we walking in the training camp and we'll see what's what. All of it's great until we put the product on the field. So once we get there, we'll get there. But that's how I'm
Get
that's
out
how I'm
of
gonna keep it.
here.
That's how I'm
Get
gonna keep
out of
it.
here. Get out of
I'm
here
gonna keep
with
it a
that
buck with
shit.
you, man.
All of it's
Oh
great
hey,
until we put the product on the field. So the Commanders jumped out there and got a couple of DBs. Shout out to the Washington Commanders, man. I
out to
give
the
the
Commanders.
Eagles some credit. I like what you guys did. You just missed the running back that I know you really wanted.
Very true.
He ended up in Atlanta, so we'll see how he does. What's his name again?
Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, Bijan Robinson ended up in Atlanta to hopefully not wither away with the rest of those Falcons. But the NFL
Jesse.
draft was fun, man.
Hey, I think Atlanta's a sleeper team. They went out and spent a lot of money on a lot of free agents, and see
Mm.
what they put together. Jesse Bates from Cincinnati went down there. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. Your boy Aaron Rodgers is with the Jets. All is well over there.
Hey, real
Following
quick.
Coach.
Hey, real quick,
Go
because
ahead.
we're not doing a heavy sports dive. But is Aaron Rodgers really making the Jets a Super Bowl contender?
I think they're making them a playoff contender, but not a Super Bowl contender.
Super Bowl is where he
No,
is
I don't think
trying to
so.
take them.
Playoff contender. Get them
S-
back to the game. Playoffs.
Okay.
You know. Yeah, they did get aggressive. We better. We
So
said
so
that.
not so not a Super Bowl contender per K does. We got to remember that K said this on May 7th that the Jets are not a Super Bowl.
POP, hold me down.
They're
Yeah, yeah.
not.
Put it in notes, man. Yeah, Jets,
Oh,
Jet.
you know how Drake
Keep that.
you're
Hey,
high on those Jets.
hey, look, but for real, I just want to say that
Mm.
your Los Angeles Lakers, okay? Your Los Angeles Lakers tried to come back and put a statement game out there
I figured it out, K
after they
Dizzle.
got
I
mollywopped, bro.
figured it out.
Go
All I
ahead.
gotta do is bet on a team that I really don't want to win, and then my team will win. I figured it out yesterday. Hopped on FanDuel, right?
Yeah.
Pick Golden State. Of course, the Lakers cook shit. What up,
CJ in the
CJ?
building.
So I figured it out, and sure enough, did the Lakers not come back? Anthony Davis is low key. He is the all star main event when it comes to this series and probably for the rest of their championship chase. That team's gonna go as far as AD takes them. As much as I love LeBron, I can literally watch LeBron take off for about 5 or 10 minutes and AD just takes over.
LeBron was non-existent that game, bro.
I mean, I won't say
He was
non-existent. I just
non-existent.
I just don't think that right now they gotta call shit through him. I mean, D'Angelo Russell came out and hit like the first 11 points.
Yeah.
Shout out to my baby. She took him in the parlay for the under on a 16
Hmm.
and a half points. He had that in like 3 minutes. And LeBron was just over there playing distributor, and playing
Hmm.
defense, trying to chase down and get some blocks. But when AD is on, that's a tough team to beat, man. Sal
Look,
says, I wish LeBron would take off in about 5 or 10 minutes.
I still don't think I still got them taking the L in the series. I
Really?
still got them taking the L in the series. I don't think they get past Golden State. I think they just traded back and forth. It was close until like the third quarter, and then they started to take away a little bit. But shout out to your LA Lakers. They came back. They made a statement game. Of course, they at home. But you know who I really want to give a shout out to?
Who's that?
While we're still talking the NBA, shout out to Devin Booker out there balling out,
Mm.
scoring. What did he do? 47?
And you know what? Devin Booker,
47?
Devin Booker is another one of these guys.
Take
He'll
control.
have he'll have a huge game. He'll have an average game.
Yep.
Huge game, average game. And when him and Kevin Durant can get this constant chemistry and cohesion where they both can go off, just
Mhm.
like just like Sal says, Sixers big win today. You know why? Because James Harden scored 42 points. James Harden has to not worry about getting Joel Embiid involved.
Yep.
Joel Embiid has no problem with getting going with you, James Harden. He does not need you. All he wants you to do is go out and get your own. All these 13-point performances from Harden can't happen. Look what happens tonight. I picked Boston in my FanDuel.
Yeah.
James Harden scores 42 points.
And shout out to Jimmy Butler.
Hemi Butler.
Henny Butler breezing past those Knicks. Breezing past those Knicks tonight.
Hey man, those playoff matchups, man, those seeds don't matter. I don't
No,
care if
they
you're
don't matter.
8, 7 seed. Golden State, the Lakers, and the Heat were 6, 7, and 8
Mhm.
seeds.
Looks good. Looks good. I think we got some awesome basketball ahead. Um, and we'll see what comes in the near future. I just like I said, I'm not a believer in your Lacares.
I
I'm
hear
not
you.
a believer in your Lacares.
I hear you
Look,
taking shots and talking shit. But who
I
do you
am.
believe
I
in?
am.
I mean,
Huh? I
who
don't believe in
you
that. I
haven't
believe in
really you haven't really hung your
I
hat
have
on the
not.
team.
I said Golden State. Then I said Golden State and Phoenix.
Okay.
I
Well,
said Golden
Golden
State and
State's
Phoenix.
got a problem.
Golden State does. Golden State does. They do. We'll see what happens. But look, Before we go into our deep dive, and also our special guest tonight, I don't know if y'all been paying attention to the promo and everything. We got
Yeah, let's
special guests
slow it
coming up.
down. Talk about it, K Dizzle.
Slow it
Talk
down.
about it, K Dizzle
I don't know
DC.
if you, because I forgot to send you the clip. I don't know if you saw it. Okay, I just
Play it.
want to. I just yeah, I'm gonna find it.
Why
Look,
not?
bus drivers have been getting a bad rap lately. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but bus drivers have been getting a really bad rap lately.
Like school bus drivers or
No,
metro bus drivers?
just bus drivers in general have been getting a really bad rap because of some
Whoa.
comments that were made, right? So I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna pull it up real quick so that we can. I gotta pull it up on the reaction video because he actually snips both of them together so that together. So look, Ebony Williams did a interview with
Mm.
Deanna Van Zant, and Deanna Van Zant asked her a question. Okay, shout out to my boy Craig Lucas. I'm gonna put this real quick because he's got the joint right here because he snipped it together. So let me play this. I don't know if y'all been paying attention or if y'all seen this. So let me play this clip really quick for y'all. Okay, here it is with there. Make sure let me know if y'all can hear it or not. Right?
Date a bus driver. You. Would you date
If
a
he
bus
owns the
driver?
bus, if he owns
No.
it, if he owns the bus,
See,
he
that's
owns
a
it.
problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver. But we think that it's another human being's responsibility to give us what we need instead of us building together.
No wait.
I could build with a bus driver. I'd have my little stash over on the side in my prenup, but I could build with a bus driver.
Wait.
So out of the 50,000 plus comments posted on social, I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position and recognizing that I am actually speaking and pouring into the ascension of black men when I said what I said.
No.
But see, no, some of y'all were too busy naming and shaming me personally and black women in general as undesirable,
This is where it goes.
gold
Hard
diggers,
heavy.
and much worse. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best. Well, listen, I love and believe in
What?
the excellence of black men. So no, my dear, C's and D's or any other form of mediocrity is not okay.
So bus drivers are equal to C and D students.
So the whole Ron. Soon as I seen this, right? I just picture all of WMATA, all those bus drivers that got big cars and got big whips out there front, right when they get off.
And they got
Get
good
yeeted.
benefits. They got great, phenomenal
So,
benefits.
yeah, look, oh yeah, Babs at the train guy, hella jokes. Well, look, man,
Mm.
Ebony Williams said she will only if he owns the bus.
But then
And
if he did own the bus, then what?
so her whole conversation is saying, well, look, I am not going to I'll settle for a guy that only wants the minimum or the average, right? So only if he owns a bus. I'm not going to date a bus driver, but that's bro, what are your thoughts right quick before I
I mean,
go ahead?
it's just the same old shit that we see every day on the internet from both sides, for men and women. It's just constant contradiction. You
Go
know,
ahead.
you date him if he owns the bus. And text 301-857-1757 to join the
What's
conversation.
up,
What's up,
Daniel?
baby? How you doing, Shanae? But you know, it's like if he owns the bus is what she said. But what does that mean? So what if he owns the bus? So he's gonna be an entire different person that you're dating because he owns the bus. No. I mean, what are we talking about, Kate?
So what we talking about is she's basically saying she's not dating a man who would be deemed having an average job because being average or settling would be considered mediocrity, and that's not um that's not acceptable in her eyes. So when you get on your platforms, right, and you don't articulate that properly. What I mean by that is the way that I just said is better for you to understand it.
Right.
If you get on there, the power of the media gives other women the idea to think and believe, hey, I shouldn't settle for that either. Only, and if only if, yeah, I don't know if it's right. She is a lawyer in a high profile coast. You kind of expect her to have a certain level, right? Oh, let's get the high value men quote in there and all that other stuff. I don't know if her fiance is right. I have no idea. What's up, Erica? But I do know,
Shout out to Erica. What's
shout out
up,
there.
Erica?
I do know that if you're gonna have that conversation and say, okay, well, uh, I want a man at a certain type of level. I want a man at a certain type of prospect. To the mere fact that you will cut out a whole section of men just because you feel like, or you deem what they do as average.
But that's what I'm saying. Can you equate the occupation again? Like we talked about this before,
Mhm,
but can you equate the occupation of a man to his status in a relationship? Like, okay, so he drives a bus right now.
mhm,
It doesn't mean he's going to drive a bus for the next 10 years.
right.
And if he drives a bus, it doesn't mean he's a bad person. He might have a lot of qualities and all the things that you want in that person in a relationship.
Mhm,
And him, using that bus driving position might be a vehicle to get him to the next level of where he wants to be in life. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
And you're right, Erica. They did touch on it on the Breakfast Club interview, and they went in. Iyanla did line her up with that. But look, um, she did try to touch a little more on it, but the the argument was, well, he could be a bus driver, but he could also, be a real estate investor at the same time and be doing a bunch of other things. She threw him under the bus. Y'all crazy.
She threw him under the bus.
But what it's doing is just putting a highlight on saying, well, you know, should you is average acceptable? If what you deem is average acceptable in your eyes as a partner or as somebody you put yourself in a relationship with.
It's hard for me in 2023 to equate a certain type of person to their occupation.
Yeah.
It really is. Like I don't get it. I don't know if it's a male thing or a female thing. Like I've never
Mhm.
really heard. I can't attribute a woman's character to her occupation.
Yeah.
Like you, even when I was single before I have gotten into my relationship, like I never sat around and said, oh, I need to find a woman who does this. Like to me, it doesn't just make them an automatic candidate for a successful partner.
Right. Right.
That's just my opinion. I'm nobody special, but this
And
shorty right
and not,
here,
no.
this shorty right here, talking about he gotta own the bus and
Hey,
shit. I mean, come on, man.
that's just her. That's just where she feels like in her level what she would accept. But the way that it came across is to other people that's going to see it is going to say, hey, um, I shouldn't settle for that either. Like you said, Eric says people equate money with being high value instead of having character, morals, making you a high value person. We are a superficial society, and that's just the way it is. Social media puts that in that perspective, in that aspect. So you just got to be careful with that. So, look, Ebony Williams is Ebony Williams. She is a high-powered lawyer. She does do those things.
She's on
Uh,
her book tour. She
she does.
pushing she
She's on a
pushing
book tour.
that book.
Yeah, she she pushed that book and she pushing whatever she running. But look, um, hey, look. I'm a 301-857-1757 to join the conversation. You know what we're talking about. But before we push ahead, we have a very special guest. I don't know if y'all paying attention to the promo and all that other stuff that's coming up and pushing up,
That's right,
but
Erica. I know that's right, Erica.
um, we have a special guest tonight. It's one of the very special guests tonight. Did I put that? I didn't mean to put that out there. Special guest tonight coming on, and she is from a hit series, acclaimed series called Double Cross on the All Black Network. I don't know if you have heard of it, but if you have it, you need to tune in. It's quality, high quality drama series. It's crazy, y'all. If y'all ain't seen it, it's called Double Cross. Why did this thing come up? I got too much going on in my life. Oh, it didn't come up. But look, I'm going to introduce her in a second. We'll make sure she's in the back. But look, where do I want to go here? There it is. Oh,
Take
that's
your
not the one.
time, Kate Dizzle. It's
I
all
can't take my
good. There
time.
you
Double
go.
Cross on the All Black Network. She plays Tanya as Detective Ryan's wife. Tanya Mentor on the show. Let me see if she's ready in the back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to bring you to the stage, Candice Van Beauty. Candice, can you hear me? Are you with us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
What's going on, love? How are you? Welcome to the show. What's going on? We have camera
Hi.
stuff. We have.
Yes. I don't know. I can't see myself. At first I could and now I can't, but hey.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. It's a gravy. Welcome to the show. Look, we excited about it. I know we've been doing some promo on it.
Absolutely.
Look, talk to us. I know you want to DMV's finest, man. Talk to us about who you are and what you do, and also about the show you got going on.
Well, let's see. Okay, so I am on Double Cross, of course, as you just said, and I do play Tanya, mentor, but I don't think a lot of people know that majority of the cast is from the DMV.
Yes, they
Nice.
are.
Nice.
And the creator of the
Mm-hmm.
show is my sister, Crystal Gibson.
What?
She wrote the show. She's the creator of the show. She directs on the show, as well as my brother Howard Gibson, who also directs on the show. So they actually split episodes. So some episodes you'll see directed by Howard Gibson,
Okay.
and then other episodes you'll see directed by Crystal Gibson. And they have just pretty much paved the way for a lot of the artists in the DMV to get some shine.
Nice.
And not everybody can make it all the way out to California to get that first opportunity, but they started here. They started in the DMV, doing shorts and getting their network together with a lot of the different artists here in the DMV. So when they got the opportunity to get broadcast and streamed on All Black, they kind of just knew who they could depend on and who was good. And then they were like, look, here's your opportunity. Let's go. If you're ready, let's go. So I was, blessed to be one of those artists
Right.
at the time. I don't know why I'm so mad at my camera. I don't understand
That's
why
okay.
it's not showing up.
It's all
But
right.
I was just blessed to be ready. Kermit, as you know, we've known each other since middle school. We've known each other since Kettering Middle School. And so I've always wanted to sing and act and be an artist. So, coming from that part of my life where I was just always wanted to be in the entertainment industry and trying to make sure that I was on top of my skills and taking classes and doing all the different things necessary to be ready when that opportunity struck. This was just like your moment. Okay, Candice, go ahead. This is it. Let's just do this. And not only are you able to do this, you're able to do this with family. So, it's just a blessing all around. Faith Malante, who plays Nurse Brian, is from the DMV. Trey Norris from that plays Centron is from the DMV. Nurse Rachel, who plays Renee, who plays Nurse Rachel, is from the DMV, and I'm sure I'm missing some other people, but yeah, it's the production people that play in the background.
Yeah.
My parents have been on set, and they have played like a doctor or a patient. So it's just, we're here and we're trying to just make sure that we are putting a stamp on things. I'm sorry if you hear my son in the background.
That's
He's
all right.
got little Terry. But we're just trying to just make sure we give everybody an opportunity that really wants an opportunity from the DMV. So I'm thankful.
Go ahead. Hey, look, I can go 1,000 ways. Go ahead. Ask the next question, man.
Candice, I just want to say, just thank you so much for taking this time out tonight to join the All Dressed Up podcast. I'm the co-host, Hef Streams. I just want to say thank you again. But I do have a question because you talk about a lot of phenomenal things, and opportunity is one thing. And when did you know that acting was your passion? Like when it was time for you to really chase it and make it yours. Like when did you know that?
You know what? To be honest, I knew very early on. I knew in middle school, because it's something that stuck with me and never left me, no matter what it was that I was doing in the meantime. You know how some people say, well, in the meantime, I'm going to do this, but this is what I really want. And so I found myself making life choices that would always lead me back to what it was that I truly wanted. So, for instance, right after high school, um, I wanted to be in the hair and makeup industry. And so I took those skills. So I went into a hair salon and I was a shampoo assistant. I learned how to do hair. And then I went to cosmetology school and I learned, I got licensed and I learned how to do makeup. And in the process, I was like, if I'm going to do something, then I'm going to still be able to use it in the industry.
Okay.
So I started to do hair and makeup on movie sets. I started
Very smart.
intern for people. I worked at the J Spot in Atlanta with Derek J, who is a hairstylist
Right.
for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so I just made sure that I always put myself in position
Yeah.
to be around people that knew things that I didn't know, but that could help me in the long run of getting in front of the camera. So sometimes you have to play your position.
Right.
If I couldn't get right in front of the camera right then and there, then I was going to still do something that was going to have me in the industry that I wanted to be in. And then
Yeah.
I still was singing. So I have a whole EP that I did in like 2004. And those were like that was like the MySpace days. And I put it on
You
MySpace.
telling on yourself.
Yes. I put it on
Telling on yourself.
MySpace. Yeah, I sure did. And I just kept up my chops. I kept
Mm-hmm.
singing and performing and just making sure that, I was still always on the lane, like in the lane that I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go, even if it wasn't like the exact thing that I wanted to do. And so
Right.
I've met so many great people along the way, just being a part of the industry, even in the backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew very early on, and I kind of just was waiting my turn and just being humble. And even now, I don't feel like I've made it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the journey has just begun, and I'm so humble, because I kind of feel like I've been like that hidden gem a
Mm.
little bit. You know how sometimes you save the best for last.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I feel. I feel like God is saving me for something, or He has saved me for something, because I still look very young, and I'm so grateful for that. When people walk up to me like, "Oh my God, you're 41. You look like you're 30, or you look like you're 25," and that's a blessing to me. I don't look like what I've been through, but
Hey, look.
I'm
Hey,
telling
look.
you, hey,
Hey, look. You
hey,
better stop.
life has happened.
That's a good thing.
You better
Life has
stop.
happened, but I'm just so grateful that I still have this opportunity to, I never gave
For
up.
sure.
And I
For
think that's
sure.
one thing that everybody should take away from tonight, if I can leave anything,
Mm-hmm.
is that you don't give up.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
find those windows, you find those back alleys, you step outside of yourself, get uncomfortable, and just do what you have to do, but always know that your time will arrive. When it's for you, it won't
Right.
miss you,
Right.
Mm.
Right.
and all the lessons that you pick up along the way are going to make you so sharp and so strong when it's your turn, when it's your time.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
you just nonstop dropping
She just
gems and
gem
stuff.
dropping, just
Oh, I
Blam
sprinkling,
blam,
know.
just
bloom
sprinkling
blow, blah
gems.
blah blah, bloom blow.
Phenomenal.
Super inspired. Look, and then you gonna
Phenomenal.
come on and get my whole government name. So I know you, sis. Oh Lord, have
I'm sorry.
mercy.
I'm
That's
sorry.
all. That's all right. It's all right. I ain't run from it. I'm gonna live my truth. But look, hey,
Very,
look.
very
So
inspirational.
so double cross, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've been binge watching the crap out of it, and y'all wow, bro. Y'all hella wow. I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you, bro.
yeah.
It's crazy. So, but it's good. It's good. And I see, in the
Yes.
most recent season, this is season 4 that I guess you just wrapped up. I mean, this,
Yes.
this was kind of like you're coming out, you're coming out on screen because you've been in a
Yeah.
lot more episodes than the previous. I think you started in season 2, and
Yes.
you know, in like it's like these past few have been like really pushing you into the forefront, which is exciting. So really quick, let me ask you, as far as your journey and everything else, and I appreciate you coming on, and I know you are balancing work balance and being a mom and everything else. That's why we love it, because that stuff is
Mm-hmm.
live. But look, did you have like any on camera limitations like that you have before? And if so, do you think they are impactful or could be impactful in your career?
I don't know about any on-screen limitations because once you get on that screen, you're not yourself
Because
anymore.
and I'm gonna tell you this too, because I seen all seasons. It's a lot of body rubbing. It's a hella body rubbing in that thing, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Carl, you say I put that monster on you. I said, what?
Yeah.
What are we doing right here?
Yeah, my sister's a hell of a writer.
She definitely is.
She definitely likes to write things that people think but don't want to say out loud. And so she's like, okay, if this is what a person would actually think to do, I want to do it. Right. I want to push that envelope. Right. As far as Tanya, as far as my character, she was introduced in season 2. And so her character over the seasons kind of she's just unfolding. She really is in season 4, because in season 2 she was just being introduced and you were just learning about her marital issues with her husband. Right. She's very she sits in her feminine energy. She doesn't really like to be confrontational, even though she is the district attorney. Right. We have not even seen her actually be in court and be hard. That's like that stern and hard energy, I'll say, that you would see come across it from a woman that is in the courts dealing with men all the time. You haven't seen that because we've been focusing on the aspect of her family life and her marital life. Yeah. So she's very much, sits in her feminine energy and doesn't really want to fight against her husband. She loves her husband, even though he's a piece of crap. He's treating her like crap. And then in season 3, she was more focused on she needs to find her child. So she couldn't, even with all the revelations of what her husband has done, she couldn't even express that anger and that. And she couldn't focus on that.
Hold on. I don't want you. Let's not go into the seasons. What happens and spoil it for the peoples who ain't seen it yet. Okay. Okay. Because I'm all in. I'm like,
I was binging like crazy, man.
I was like, when is the shooting for 5? Because
we actually do go back into season 5. We actually go back into production in June.
Okay.
So we're all going to be geared up and ready for season 5. Yes, coming.
This is what I'm gonna do. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a I do music production. I'm gonna go ahead and make a I'm gonna give y'all an intro. I'm gonna send an intro track. Since it's your sister now, I'm gonna use all my cards. Your sister. I'm gonna do an intro track and send it to you. But look, I'm gonna tell you like this. I after like 2 seasons, I wanted to throw the whole hospital away. So because I love the fact that they show a lot of Black people in prominent positions, but also showing them, it's no, you see the code switching on a consistent basis. But at the same time, it still gives you that feeling like, okay, we can still do all these things, still be amazing people, and still be contribute to the community at the same time, still do our wild stuff on the other side. But look, Hef, I want you to ask one of those questions, those important questions that you wrote at the end.
I just got a good one real quick, actually. I just got fed to me from one of our viewers, and I'm going to go ahead and ask you this, Candice, because you say your sister's a phenomenal writer, and I can definitely see that from watching the episodes that I've seen. What do you think the impact of this writer strike is going to have on the industry? And what do you think about it overall? Like, do you see it becoming something that's going to take more traction? Do you see it going into a direction where it's going to actually affect the industry? What do you think about this writer strike?
Well, I hope that it opens up some possibilities for writers to actually get paid what they deserve, because we can't be replaced. Like I write too, right?
Okay, great.
We write by experience. We write what we know. We write from a place that's authentic, inspiring. And AI can't replace that. You know what I mean? And that's really what it's about. A computer cannot replace the human experience.
Very true.
And so
that's profound.
I'm hoping that, because the issue is that we have so many streaming platforms now. We have so many different outlets, but we don't have the content.
Yeah.
And so this is why it's important for people to step outside of their fear
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
and just do the thing that you know you're supposed to do. If you're a writer, write.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are so many avenues and so many streaming platforms right now for writers,
Mm-hmm.
and we're looking for that. And the networks are like, okay, in order for us to survive, we need the content. So you looking for computers and AI to do the job is not gonna cut it.
For
It's
sure.
Mm.
really
For
not.
sure. For sure.
And we can't be replaced.
You're right. And so pay him down, pay him good, give him percentage because the
Yes.
streaming is where it is.
Yes.
And they're gonna see. It's just gonna take some time, like you said. And I appreciate
Yes.
that. But look,
Yes. And I just hope that, it inspires more people that are writers to
mm-hmm.
get out there, create the content, do what it is that you know that you can do, hook up with people. It really is all about who you know.
Network, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
for sure.
mean? Because if you don't know something and you're around the right person and you ask the right questions,
Right.
you will get the right answers, and that will help you. My sister has done internships with the Dim Gibson Films, which is the
Mm-hmm.
name of her production company. I was an intern. I learned how to write a script during my internship. I was able
Wow.
to intern on a couple of episodes of Double Cross myself. I'm not going to say what I did, but I'm just going to say that I learned. You know what I mean? So,
For sure.
you just have to put yourself in position, ask the right questions, and make yourself irreplaceable.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
And that's exactly what this writer strike is about.
Okay, Beyonce.
Us writers, we cannot be replaced
You're
by
right.
AI.
You're right.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey. So I have a very important question. Okay.
Yes.
It's kind of like an either or question, but it's very important to our
Let's have
viewers
let's have
and
some
our
fun.
listeners. Okay.
Okay.
Flats or drums?
Flats. Cooked hard.
That's
Good
how I
answer.
know. That's
Good
how I
answer.
know when
Good
Candice when,
answer.
when Candice dropped Kettering. I said, "Oh, she from around
She
the
from
way.
the county.
She from
She
she
from the
from
county
exit
straight
exit
up.
15 and exit 13 off the
Exit
Beltway.
15.
Lord,
So
no.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
all right. So so the next question. Okay.
Yes.
Right, Erica. All right.
Oh, that's a deep
Patty
one right here.
Patty LaBelle
Mhm.
or Anita Baker?
Ooh, that's hard, but I have always been an Anita Baker fan.
Oh, Shanae gonna love that answer.
I have, yes.
My girl's gonna love that answer, Candice.
It was just something about Anita Baker.
Okay, okay.
I love me some Patty now. Don't
Yeah.
get it twisted, but
Patty.
Anita,
Shout
yeah.
out to feel, man.
She got them jams I can
All right.
still put on.
Candice
All right,
two
all
for
right.
two right now. She
All
two
right.
for two.
Last one. Last one. Okay. Spontaneous date or
Oh,
chill at home?
oh,
Oh, I'm a sucker for
okay.
spontaneity. Like I like to be surprised.
Okay. Okay.
Although I
Don't
am an
be
introvert. I'm an introvert and I can chill at home, but I love spontaneity.
got you. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, you can win on that. Look at Eric talking about some both of them.
I'm a hopeless
You
romantic.
can't be both of them. But no, look. Hey, look. From I know you know you already know you done put it out there, little sis to me forever and always. I
Yes.
always seen it in you. But look, I am way beyond proud of you, so beyond proud of you.
Oh, thank
And I
you.
watch it. I support anything you do 110%. Even have put ups like, yo, let's talk about our music on there. You got music on Apple iTunes, this
I
stuff is
saw
out
that.
there, it's
Yeah, I sent it
everywhere.
over.
But look, I'm excited because I know what season 5 is going to come and do.
Yes.
And it's going to blow up even more. And the more we talk about it, All Black Network, you on there with like Waka Flocka, and his show is on there. The Brat and his show's on
Yes.
there. So it's
Yes.
not just a fly by night thing. You guys are really talented at what you do. I didn't
Yes.
know it was everybody from the DMV. I didn't know it was so homegrown and
That's
family
what's up. That's
family
what's up.
oriented,
Yes.
operated. Because that's awesome. And
Yes.
so like I just hope that it keeps going and it blows up to the way it needs to.
Thank
And
you.
I appreciate you coming on and stop it through with your presence, You are interview slash mommy duty slash everything slash
Yes.
assist. And like I said, man, it's all love. Pick up to you. Thank you.
Thank
Everybody give a
you.
warm clap for Candice Fan Beauty. Hey,
Thank
how do you find? Oh,
you.
he said, what are the sources need extra season 5? Look, they trying to get on. They trying to put on. All right, it's all about who you know. Email me.
Okay,
I
so
got hookup. I know.
I
Email the All
do
Dressed Up
know,
podcast.
and I do know. Okay, so if you follow on IG
Mm-hmm.
at Dem Gibson Films, so that's DEM, because you know we from the DMV at
Mhm.
Dem DEM Gibsons GIBSONS Films
Let me zoom in.
FILMS. Yes,
Got it.
at
There we
Dem
go.
Gibson Films. If you follow
Watch me push the
that
I'm
button.
following
page,
Watch
right
me push
now.
the
I'm
button.
following right
Bam.
now.
they
I'm a,
post when we have castings.
Mhm.
Okay, there's my sister and brother. Yay!
Ah.
They post when we have castings
Mhm.
on that page. So
Yeah.
you should be able to see whenever they get ready to post for season 5. It
Mhm.
should be able to you should be able to get that information from there. Follow my sister at Crystal Gibson. Uh, what is hers?
I don't know. We'll get it, but we'll
I
post the
am
links
We'll
Crystal
up for
definitely
sure.
put
Gibson,
it
and
up.
I am Crystal Gibson.
I
That's
am
what it
Crystal
is.
Gibson.
I
Okay.
am Crystal Gibson, and it's spelled CHRISTEL, like
Okay.
Crystal. If you
Oh,
follow her page, she posts as well when we have casting calls.
Ron said Anita. Ron, you're right. You're right. It's rain. I appreciate that. All right. So look, we love that. If you want to hang out, you can hang out because we about to get deep dive into the topic of tonight. That
Yes.
always so that always stir up some trouble, and I like trouble. Lord knows I do. And I made sure before we talked about this, I talked to my wife. I asked her the question. I asked her the question. Got her response to see what she was. I was like, let me slow down. So look, really quick, man. I'm gonna live 301-857-1757. You want to join in the conversation tonight? That's where you can go in. I will send you a link. You don't have to show your face. You can come on just like Candice did tonight and say what you need to say within it. But look, the topic of the conversation tonight is very clear. Okay. What's not? It's a little, we're gonna muddy the water a bit. Okay. Is marriage a commitment or is it a contract? Is marriage a commitment or is it a contract? 301-857-1757. Join the conversation. I feel like this is a late night radio show the way I just
Yeah.
said that too. But look, Hef,
Okay.
ladies first. Ladies first. Candice,
Yes.
is marriage a commitment or is it a contract?
It is both.
It is both.
It is both.
Houseway. Houseway.
The reason why I say that is because you have to be committed to the contract.
Wait a
You
minute.
have to be committed to the contract. And you cannot have a true commitment without the contract.
She coming
Okay.
in throwing haymakers already.
Because essentially what you're doing is you're creating a legacy for your lineage.
Okay.
Right? So I can be in a committed relationship, yes. For a long term, yes.
Mhm.
But once we start having children,
Mhm.
then it becomes something different. And if anything were to happen to you, anything were to happen to me, that paperwork is everything. You know, it secures the future of your lineage.
Okay.
You know, it's not just love, it's not just feelings. Those things are great.
Mhm.
You know, but at the end of the day, when life insurance comes into play,
Right.
when houses and properties and estates come into play, that is all paperwork.
Okay. So is it
So
so
it
is
has to come into play. You
so
cannot have a marriage without contract.
so all right. I'm glad that you said that. So what you just explained was paperwork, and the
Mm-hmm.
reasons why people choose marriage and they make it a legal thing, and they make it legal, right? They do it they do it in the courthouse, or they sign their certificates, a marriage certificate.
Mm-hmm.
But is that marriage certificate a contract?
Yes,
How is it a contract?
it is.
How is it a contract?
You're both coming into it in agreement, and you're both putting your signatures on there,
Mm-hmm.
stating that this is what you're going to be committed to.
Okay.
This is it.
So
You
aren't
have
the
merged together. You are doing the business of marriage. It is the business of marriage.
the business of marriage?
It
I like that.
is.
I
It
like that.
is.
But how can it? Okay. So I see what you're saying. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, it's both." But here's where it gets muddy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we talk about commitment, part of the well, let me before I go there, half
No, I
is
mean, go ahead. I
no
mean,
no 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 no. Half, is it a commitment or is
let
it
me
a
let me let me
contract?
let me talk
Go
to the
ahead.
chat for a
Talk to
second.
the
Let
chat.
me take a deep breath. Let me take a deep breath because Candice has been dropping gems since she stepped on the mic tonight. So shout out to Candice Fan Beauty for the gem she dropped.
Thank you.
But and Erica in the chat says she's preaching. She is, and
Yeah.
with commitment comes the contract. And I totally agree with when she says this. And to make it more personal for myself, I've been in um, up coming up on a 4 year relationship,
Hmm.
and me and my girl, we had a baby, and she's 16 months now. And obviously, the last thing is the contract because we live together, we have a baby, we're discussing finances, long term goals, and it's like when do you write the contract? Like, I feel like I'm married now. I obviously haven't signed the paper, Candace, but like, when do you write the contract, and how does that go?
Well, I feel like you write the contract. You should have been wrote the contract,
Mm.
sir. Sir. No, seriously. I feel like nowadays we do things unorthodox.
Hmm.
We have the baby before the commitment. We have the baby before the contracts are in place. If something were to happen to you today or tomorrow, where does that put your child? Where does that put your girlfriend who should be your wife? This is about honoring your commitment of starting a family. This is what you started.
Mm.
Okay? You two have come together and now you have started a family. And so I feel like you should just go ahead and do the honor of making her your wife. She is good enough to be the mother of your child,
Hmm.
you know? So if that was the case, then go ahead and make that solidified so that they are taken care of, you know? Do the
100%.
So
paperwork to make sure that they are there. The stability is there. The foundation is there. People take the contract so lightly, and I don't think that they realize how much it actually is a benefit to them. Even in your tax returns, it's a benefit to you.
But what do
so
you think? But real quick before you go, Kate, does we talked about having the baby before with our marriage, right?
Did you get a birth certificate and a social security card for your child?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you did. You did business with the United States government just having a baby.
Right.
so it says communication plus commitment equal a contract.
100%.
Is it
Yes.
okay? So because here's where it gets muddy. Because when we talk contract, right? And I had
Mm-hmm.
this conversation with a bunch of different people, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we talk contract, we're thinking it's a business decision at that point,
It
right?
really is.
It's a business
Mm-hmm.
decision at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And when we decide to enter into those things and get into a business decision, sometimes people look at that business decision differently from the original commitment that they made.
Mm.
And so therefore, that is one of the number one reasons why it is important to choose your partner. And that should not be taken lightly. And you shouldn't just be out here making babies with whoever without understanding that there is a commitment. There is a, there is a business to even having a child together with someone.
Uh-huh.
You're coming together and creating life. I think if we thought about it differently and if we thought about it in that way,
Uh-huh.
family would be different.
So that's where I'm leading you down the road to say, hey, if you're looking at marriage, and Melinda, welcome to the group, welcome to the chat. Newly married, I'm glad you're in. I want you to weigh in too. 301-857-1757 is where you
Put you
bring
on
it
a
in.
spot, Melinda. Putting
When
you on
you
a spot.
when you start, the trouble is, because let's say, high value men, high value women. Okay, I'm just put it out there. When you start looking at your commitment more so than more so towards a contract, then it gives it aesthetics towards business wise, right? Because that's one of the things we can say. We're doing this so we can secure each other. It's a contractual agreement saying that we're going to do this together. But
Mm-hmm.
when we really boil it down to it, when we say that, whether we do it at the altar or whether we do it in the courthouse, aren't we taking both of those rings and making that commitment, a lifelong commitment, a soul commitment to each other? Do you
It sh- it should
correct?
be it should be both.
It
Yeah,
should it should it should be both, right? That
it
is
should be both.
that's a soul bond commitment to each other. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What are the contractual agreements to that commitment?
That's between the couple because every marriage and every relationship is different.
Right.
Everyone has different circumstances. I may come into my marriage saying, listen, I want to be 100% sitting in my feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do want to be able to be creative and, do what I want to do as far as work.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to sit in my feminine energy where, I take care of the household. I raise the children. This is where I want to sit. And I would like for you to sit in your masculine energy. You be the provider. You go out there and bring home the bacon or whatever the case may be. But these are the different things that need to be discussed when even picking your partner and
Right.
getting in a serious relationship with somebody.
100%. Right.
Okay, so nowadays people meet someone on the street and then they be like, "Oh, you want to date me? Yeah, let's date." They go out on a date and then the next week they're in a full blown freaking committed relationship. They have
Mm-hmm.
not vetted, they have not asked the serious questions, they have not, given this person enough time to show can they show up for you if anything happens. They don't know how the person handles conflict. They don't know, okay, when the chips are down, how are they going to react? They don't vet anymore. They
Right.
just go from a date to the bed, and now we have a child together, and they
We
are having babies with strangers. People need to stop, slow down. And if this is something that you really want, if marriage is something that you're aiming towards,
mm-hmm.
take your time and vet a person out.
Yeah. What people end up doing ultimately, unfortunately, is they ignore the red flags. They
Yes.
ignore the red flags. They see it, and then commitment turns into robbery after that. Because
They
now we look at it
yeah.
as Arizona Ron says, commitment turns into robbery at that
Yeah,
point.
because
Because
they
now
get blinded by the
we,
looks and
we
attraction and all of those things instead of a person's characteristics and what
yeah,
they actually, how they actually will be in a marriage.
and not just that. And look, Erica says, the crazy thing is we will reconsider marriage, and if we want the government involved. But we have babies like it's nothing that lasts forever. That's because people like practice. I'm not referencing anyone in particular. I'm just saying that we making lifetime commitments already and acting like we do. Sal says,
Yeah.
do you need a contract if he's a bus driver? Good question, Sal.
Yes.
So, but
Yes.
the issue comes into play is when we get what happens is we make the commitment up front, right? We
Yes.
make the commitment, we sign the paper, right? And
Mhm.
then we get into the thick of it,
Mhm.
right? And then we look at it and say, okay, this is a contract. And
Mhm.
once we get into the thick of it and things don't start happening the way we like them, we
Mm-hmm.
start looking at this contract differently
Mm-hmm.
and try to find clauses
You started to try to renegotiate the
to
contract.
renegotiate the contract or
Mm-hmm.
figure ways out to terminate the contract.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier for somebody, let's just say, high value to view it in that aspect and say, okay, I need to reconsider this before I reconsider my commitment. If I'm looking at it as a contract, I need to reconsider the terms of this agreement
Mm-hmm.
before I reconsider the commitment that I made.
But the one thing Kate Dizzle that Candice was saying that I can't necessarily say a lot of people do is know themselves as well as she described knowing herself and going into a
Yes.
marriage.
Of course.
Like
Yes.
and going into a marriage, I think knowing yourself is the first major step
Mm-hmm.
to engage in establishing that contract. Because when you described it, Candice, that was profound when you were saying like you wanted to sit in your feminine energy and you still wanted to be creative. Like a lot of people can't voice that going into these commitments.
But
Yes.
what happens if the man wants to sit in his masculine energy,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And the woman won't allow him to because she feels she needs to take that pedestal, maybe because she generates more income than he does.
Those are things that will present themselves in the beginning. They
Hey,
will.
let me say this.
That's why we don't ignore the red flags,
I tell
people.
I tell
Yeah.
everybody the same question. I tell everybody the same thing. There's a difference between a committed relationship and marriage because once
Mm-hmm.
you become married, everything changes. And there's
Mm-hmm.
no way to explain it. It's just when you go through that process, you understand how everything changes. Because, like you said, if we enter into that commitment and we take those vows and we say that there is no turning back, now everything everything is definite at that point. Now there is no, if you go in there and you burn the bridges or you hit the shore and you burn the boats the way you're supposed to, you got to deal with what's in front of you. There are no boats to get back to the ocean.
No,
You don't
no.
And
burn
I
the
But
think
boats.
that's one of the reasons why you have to have some type of foundational. Okay, give for a second. Just take this ride with me for just a second.
Go ahead.
Okay, you create a brand, right?
Hmm.
Your brand has guidelines. Your brand guidelines let you know that if you get away from these guidelines
Hmm.
and something starts to look off and something starts to look wrong, you go back to your guidelines
Hmm.
and you go back through your guidelines so that you can get back on track to making sure that your brand is saying the things that it's supposed to say and doing the things that it's supposed to do. And it looks like how it's supposed to look like. People don't go into their marriage with guidelines. They don't go into their marriage saying, "Hey, these are the foundational things that I need. This is if as long as we have these things,
Hmm.
and that could be God
Hmm.
in our relationship and in our marriage, those foundational things. These are the things that I need every single day. As long as I have these things going on, then anytime we get away from them and things start to look like it's not adding up, we can come back to these guidelines. We can come back to what our foundation we said we wanted to have, and then
that's
work
deep.
from there.
That's deep. And
And work from
imagine
there because people do grow and they want different things and they desire different things. But if those foundational things are still there, then we can make this work.
Mm.
can I ask
Mm.
can I ask you guys a quick question speaking on that? What happens if like pre-marriage, right before you go into making that next step, you
Mm-hmm.
write down a list of things that are your concerns and your guidelines versus your partner, and you put your list together and they're far off. Does that like sway you and make you feel different, or do you just like work on your guidelines together at that point? Because I think that's very interesting.
I think that you should have your guidelines set up before you even go looking for a wife.
Oh, okay.
She should have her guidelines set up before she even entertains a husband.
Mm.
Because you essentially, if you're dating looking for your match.
Mhm.
And when those things don't add up, if you're sitting across a woman and you're like, I want to be with somebody that's soft. I want to be with someone who is polite. And you go out on a date, and every time you go out on a date, she got something negative to say to the waitress.
Or her voice deeper than
Yeah.
yours.
You know, she
You
loud.
want the steak tonight?
You know that's not the woman for you. And
That's a
there's
good
nothing
point.
wrong with that woman. She's just not the woman for you.
Don't ignore the red
You
flags.
can't ignore the red flags, and you have to have a certain because once you start dating and they're checking off your boxes, when it come time to sit down and say, okay, this is the type of marriage that I want, because I know that she already has the foundation. I can see her raising my child. I can see her being nurturing. I know that she's going to have my back because she's shown me that this is in her nature to be this way, and I can live with that.
And
That
and
makes all the difference.
and let me say this too. If you build your guidelines, or you build your criteria, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure as you grow within yourself and as you get older, you don't stay too rigid within your criteria. That you
Yes.
grow and you learn not only
Yes.
about yourself, right? But about the
Mm-hmm.
things that are important to you. Because as you get older and as time goes by, things change and the
Yes.
value of things that you hold within yourself change. And so sometimes we get into a situation where as people, we get locked into these certain things or certain ideals that they have to fit in this box. And when you do that, like being like Ebony Williams said, as far as the bus driver, you lock yourself out from possibly meeting the perfect person for you
Mm-hmm.
100%.
because your
100%.
criteria or your guidelines have become too rigid over time. And that could be just because, out of spite or out of fear or just out of the lack of growth uh internally.
Mm-hmm.
So Erica, see, you can be committed to a person all you want in your heart, but let's say something happens to her or him and y'all aren't married and your name isn't on their legal documents, you have no power. So it is business as well.
Yes.
100%.
It is business. I think it becomes business when it goes to the next step. I and the reason why I asked this question, Ron says, without boundaries, you invite mistreatment and misuse.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
you do.
Ron.
Now, the reason why I pose this question is because my fear of the viewpoint of a contract is that if you look at it more so a contract, you begin to look at it as a business decision. And then people know with a business decision, you can find a way to make a different business decision. You can choose to remove yourself from that business decision. But when you make that commitment up front and initially, right,
Mm-hmm.
you got to take that with all seriousness and be able to take those two circles, because marriage is about two circles becoming one circle. It's first when you start putting them together, there's a level of discomfort that
Mm-hmm.
is natural and that is supposed to happen in order for you guys to grow together, right? People start moving into that circle, right? And then look at it as a business decision because the discomfort becomes too far too much. And either one person or both lose the inability to grow and be vulnerable and be honest with each other and decide to take the contract and rip it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then now the commitment to the next person, unfortunately, like people do, they have baggage. Baggage becomes a little less of a commitment and more so of a contract when they viewpoint next time. It's always like, scars and wounds will always heal, but you always learn from the previous mistakes. And I just
Mm-hmm.
I just pray that if you look at it more so the commitment wise and not a business decision or a contract, you may always reground and recenter yourself to why you did what you did and why it was important to you. But like you said, none of that matters if your criteria or your guardrails or your guidelines ain't there and if you ignore the red flags.
And
Yes.
Because
also what I'm taking from this, guys, is stop playing married. Damn it! If you want to be married, get married,
Mm-hmm.
and get that contract signed, and leave room for amendments. Says K Dizzle.
Leave room for a melee. Enough sense here, but it shouldn't change. That's the twist about communication. Should be the same from the first time two people meet. When you go to marriage, uh, that psychological comes into play, and that is a
Ooh,
contract. Red flags. It's
chameleon.
chameleons out here.
Yes, there are.
That's why you give it time, Ron.
That's why you let it breathe. You let that thing
Yes.
marinate.
If
That's
you
the
sit and listen to a person talk, they will tell you their
they,
intentions. You just got to
that's
give them
look,
time to do it.
But
that's
the
one thing.
deepest thing that I think Candace said was, just making sure you protect your legacy of your lineage. Like I
Mhm,
thought that's the that was the deepest thing that I took from tonight.
mhm,
And I think that, when I take on the next realm of the next level of being actually married, it's like, just making sure you have the common goals of what you both want to succeed. Like you have
right.
to have the same
Hmm.
aspirations, I would say. Like I
Yes.
can't I can't imagine you being in a successful relationship where one person has these aspirations to go far right and you're going far left. Like really put your heads together and be the best versions that you can so you both can accomplish what you both want to, but still grow together.
Exactly.
Hey, look, man, y'all knock this thing out the
Phenomenal
freaking
conversation.
park, out the park. And I'm gonna tell you what. You set it up, Candice, because you set the whole tip talking about it's both of them.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
both of them. But look, I think we got to this whole the heart of the meat of the matter because none of that matters if you don't check yourself and you don't pay attention to the red flags up front. Because
Yes.
if you do pay attention to those things up front, it could save you a lot of time, energy,
Hmm.
effort, and aggravation from going into the commitment under I won't even say false pretenses. It's just ignorance. No,
She's
I can't even
bad.
say
She's
ignorance.
she's bad, but don't ignore that red
Don't
flag.
don't ignore the red flag.
Exactly.
So look, I'm gonna put in the link where they can go follow your IG. It's in the chat there, Candice Fan Beauty.
Thank you
You
so
All
guys
much.
can go
right.
on there, get the all black network, see double crosses. It's all DMV there all the time, 24/7, 365.
Yes.
I'm so excited about that. You can go to All Black Network. Check that out, y'all. Double Cross. It's on the All Black Network. Let me put that graphic up one more time. I came prepared tonight. Yeah, it's crazy. It's about some
Shout out,
streams.
shout out to Crystal, man. She writes her butt off.
Oh, shout out to Crystal.
Yes.
Writes her butt off, man. That's crazy. Well, look, we got there where you can find them. Hef streams. We can find Hef streams everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, everywhere. Look, you find K Dizzle DC everywhere. If you got any questions, or you want to be a part of the crew, or you have a show topic, submit your info to alldressedpodcast@gmail.com. We got everything. We're everywhere. I'm gonna put the links up. You guys know this wouldn't be a show. It wouldn't be good without you and your interaction. Every other Sunday at 9 p.m. You see a lot more promo, a lot more things coming to follow. Again, Candice Fan Beauty from Double
Came
Cross,
through and shut it
Tanya
down.
Minter.
Came
Tanya
through and shut
Minter.
it down.
Yes.
Y'all know where to find us, man. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We'll see y'all in about a week or so, man.
And and I know, and they know, and we know, we go all in, and I know, and they know, 'cause we know, we go all